Good to go. Okay, good evening, everyone. If I could please ask you to stand for the national anthem. Okay, thank you. I'd like to welcome the members of council, staff, and the public to our meeting for Monday, April 23rd, 2026. I will call the meeting to order. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof? Seeing none, accept the agenda. Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda of the regular meeting of council on Monday, April the 13th, 2026.
Okay, thank you. The only change I have is I will move up number 9, new business, community living month, up to number 6, just above A. Just so you guys don't have to hang out for the, I mean, you'd have to listen to Jacob and it's very long and. Any other additions or deletions from the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on to adoption of the previous minutes. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the minutes of the following meetings be adopted as circulated. Regular meeting of council minutes, Monday, March 23rd, 2026.
Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. No delegations this evening. Moving on to staff reports. Proclamation for community living. I'd like to welcome past director Danielle Durosso and interim director Gail Webster to coming here just to make sure that we do pass this. So I feel the eyes on us. So proclamation, Community Living Month in month of May. Whereas Community Living Glengarry strives to ensure that all people live in a state of dignity, share in all elements of living in the community, and have the opportunity to participate effectively. And whereas for over 70 years, Community Living Ontario has worked to bring people and the communities together by supporting individuals as they develop their capacity to live, learn, work, and participate in all aspects of living in the community, as well as to develop the capacity to welcome and support people who have not always had the same opportunities to participate in community life in meaningful, productive ways. And whereas Community Living Glengarry provides support and services to people with developmental challenges in our area, and whereas during the month of May, Community Living Glengarry is promoting public awareness of the physical and social barriers that keep individuals with developmental challenges from participating in the social, recreational, and economic world around them. Now, therefore, we, the Township of North Glengarry, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Community Living Month and encourage all citizens to become more knowledgeable about people with developmental challenges and to welcome them as equal members of our community. On behalf of the Mayor and Council of the Township of North Glengarry. So I believe that we'll be having another flag raising again.
And we will be here on, Gail will be here with the delegation on May 1st.
Okay.
And we would like to thank you for your continued support to your staff and council. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for everything you do in our community, so thank you. Okay. Moving on to staff report 6A1, restricted acts of council, lame duck delegation of authority, Councillor Cadell. Here, just pass them down the...
I wonder why I was being left out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A move by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report number AD 2026-06, restricted acts of council, lame duck periods, and delegation of authorities, and that council adopt bylaw 24-2026, being a bylaw to delegate certain authorities during a restricted lame duck period. And that bylaw 24-2026 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted in open council this 13th day of April 2026.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. If I can get that back, that's the one I need to sign. Any questions or comments on the lame duck council? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. Moving on to Building, Planning, and Bylaw Department, BP 2026-12, proposed telecommunication tower in Alexandria. Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move by myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report BP 2026-12 for a formal request that Shared Tower Inc., applicant Audrey Barella, programming coordinator, proposal be considered complete, and that the Township of North Glengarry approves the assessment of the process Shared Tower Inc. has undertaken to date for the construction of one 40-meter telecommunications tower in North Glengarry to be located at 419 Main Street North, Alexandria, Ontario, to improve wireless, voice, and data services within the township, and that the township issue a formal letter of Shared Tower Inc. With a copy of the ISED in order to permit Shared Tower Inc. to move forward with the installation of the proposed communication tower site.
Okay, thank you. Jacob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we've seen many of those in the last frequent years. So these are for telecommunication towers. So the Ontario Building Code, Ontario Planning Act, anything provincial has no jurisdiction over those. This is all done at the federal level. The township has no specific protocol for those. So the way it works is that they follow, it's called ISED, Innovation, Science and Economic Development of Canada's protocol. So what they have to do, they notify all residents within 3 times the height of the tower. So that's the radius. They notify all these people. And then they also publish it in newspapers. So that's what they have done here. They publish it in both Seaway News and Glengarry Times. And then they have to give the residents at least 30 days to comments, express their concerns, etc. So in this case, the location for this tower is 419 Main Street North. So it's just going up North Alexandria here. It's on, it's called RVA Machine Shop. So it's that welding shop just south of Butchers to Go, basically. So it'll go on the northeast corner of their property. So they always try to follow the same guidelines. So as far away as residential dwelling as possible. In this case, the closest dwelling is actually on Lindsley Street. I believe 180 meters, something like that. They try to get a property that already has an entrance, access that's already done, outside of any watershed, source water protection area. So they always try to hit these types of properties in industrial zone or general commercial, etc. So this is a good spot for them. This tower, I believe, is 40 meter high. Yes, so 40 meter high in that corner. It's the towers that you see with lights all around that turn. So there's a quick picture right there. So in this case, the 30 days has now expired. They've done all what's requested by the federal document. So now they're requesting council to issue what's called a concurrence letter. So it basically says, we agree with you putting up that tower, we have no objection, etc. Although we have no, like I said, jurisdiction over this. They really just want councillors in the township to be aware that this is going on. As you know, it's to enhance communication, cellular data, etc. In this case, Shared Tower, we have worked with them before. I just want to mention they wanted to be part of the meeting via online. Because of our communication issues on our side, they couldn't. So any questions that you may have, they're very easy to work with. I will relay the questions and they will answer. So basically, yeah, we're just looking for a resolution to say that we're issuing a concurrence letter to them so they can start the process and budgeting. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Do you know what the distance, like, I know we have an issue in La Hill with cell service. Will that hit?
Not really, no.
No.
This is really just more for, like, I believe they have a radius, like, they try to share the towers. In this case, there's, like, we just discussed this, there's some around, but there's a lack of coverage there, so it's more local. It won't hit like Glen Robertson and Loch Hill, all that, no.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They call it a carrier-neutral tower, which is probably good news because it means that I think any carrier can apply to install their equipment on it. So I think that's probably good news for us and for the residents. And then in there, it states that there are already 3 carriers that are going to be installed on there immediately. Do you happen to know what those 3 carriers are?
I believe 2 of them are Rogers and Bell. I don't know the other one, though. I can ask the question if you want.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that
not
would be great
100% sure.
because, you know, I mean, a tower going up, if the carriers were some obscure carrier, I don't know what that would be, you know.
I'll relay the question, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds good. Thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Madden, then Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I just mentioned this to Jacob, I had to bring this up. The report references 3 towers and a figure 3. Their map is actually a figure 2 and the drawing actually references 2 towers. So they've given us some not completely accurate information in this, so I just have a bit of an issue with them giving us a report that's not. It's kind of a copy paste, obviously. They did this from another report. They reference on their figure 4, and I think figure 2, they reference 1 tower on the First to Kenyon and 1 over by the Glengarry Truck Center on the bypass on 45. But in their language, they reference 1 at 1 kilometer away, 1 at 2 kilometers, 2 of them at 2-something kilometers away. So just if you'd ask them for some clarification on that and make sure we're not missing something and
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
if there's a crossing of info there. Also, just confirm the closest residence, because there's actually residences on 34.
There's a resident right on the other side
Right,
of
opposite.
Butchers to Go.
Yeah, opposite Butchers to Go, opposite on 34, and 1 right south of RVA.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the one on Lindsley is the
I
closest.
believe if you go straight, that one is the closest.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, and if
'Cause
that's
we-
what it is, then,
Yeah, just to reassure, we did the buffer ourselves here too, so
Okay.
just to make sure, like, just to confirm, the 120 meters all around was done by us, so it is really,
Okay.
even though those towers are not at the right spot there, the radius was okay.
okay. So if you can just see what they have in the
Yeah.
way of clarification of that info, I'd appreciate it, please and thank you.
Can I just ask a quick question?
First, Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Several thoughts. A quick Google of damaging radiation from towers like this, which, you know, scientists say, you know, would cause cancer, but as increases, or the risk of that decreases rapidly the farther you get away from the tower. Just noticing here that the gym next to it is a lot of people on the 2nd floor there, so that's 40 meters is a lot closer than it would, you know, a house nearby. Anyway, a thought on that. And then, you know, just in my mind, I know there are people who will be opposed to this. I know people who will be upset about this. And, you know, to quote an old farmer, he said, you can't convince me that even a little bit of poison is good for you. So that's my opinion. I would vote against this.
So, Jacob, maybe you can just reiterate just what what parameters do we have to deal with this? So just, for example, we say no tonight, what does that do to?
It will delay the process for sure. Like we, as the township, we can ask for more information, more reports on some types of, like the justification report, as you said, has some deficiencies, so we can probably ask for just more information on it. But as I said, this is all federal, so I'm not sure to what extent the township can oppose to that. I know that anybody who object or has concerns, even though the process is completed, there is if you go on the ISET website, you can always submit your concern, questions and whatnot, and I'm assuming they will answer. But to be honest, I'm not sure to what extent that we can, if we don't issue the concurrence letter, I think it just delays the process in the sense they're gonna ask, what do you need more? Like, do you need more information, more documentation? Maybe they'll try to find another site, something like that. But we have zero jurisdiction. There's no permits I can block. There's no nothing. So
It's not a zoning change?
no,
or-
exactly, no. Yeah.
Deputy Mayor?
I just wanted to confirm something Councillor Madden said. So you think that I thought those were existing towers, the two other,
The two are.
the two
But
are?
they reference in the language, they reference three others at different distances.
Oh, okay, I missed that, okay.
Yeah,
thank
but
you.
they do reference, the map shows the two that exist.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Okay, anybody further like to speak to this? Go ahead, Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Maybe to Brian's concern and maybe to the community as a whole, like, we have passed sometimes, it looks all good and everything, maybe, I don't know if we should just postpone the acceptance letter and then get more details on the risk assessment, just to do our due diligence. So at least we would have looked more into it, I don't know. It's just that Brian brought up some valuable concerns, and I think it'd be unwise of us to go ahead and say, oh, never mind that, without getting more information if we can.
Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
That. I agree. If we can put this off, get a little more info. I mean, obviously, towers are going to happen, and yes, we have very little say in it. Something going out on the bypass or something going out in the middle of, a very much less densely populated area. But this is going in the middle of the town where obviously we've got, not the greatest density, but we've still got people living there. To Brian's point, we've got people working out at the gym that are, spending hours a day there presumably. So let's at least see what they have to say as far as, what they've got. If they've got something that shows some distances of impact, or if they address that at all. But also just some clarification on the report and their numbers and their distances and what they're referencing.
Because I think, I'm just, you telling me that it's not going to hit Laheel. Like, we have service in Alexandria that's acceptable and works, within the parameters of the town. So I don't know who's it for. So I think I would, I don't know what the rest of you think. I think just a delay of a couple weeks for us to get some more information on who it's hitting, and just to know what our rights are as a municipality. It just seems, we've had these things rammed down our throat a little bit in the past. We got burnt during the battery energy storage facility. So I don't want to forge ahead with something without us doing our due diligence. So just gonna let Jacob speak.
No, all good. It's unfortunate we couldn't get that to work. She had offered to be here to answer questions, so she will gladly provide any information that we're looking for sure.
Okay. Go. You good?
If there's no benefits to our residents,
Yeah.
why would we allow them to come in there and make money off or whatever?
Okay, so voting on deferral. All those in favor of deferral? Okay, motion is carried. It is deferred. Thank you. Okay, moving on to Zoning bylaw amendment Z04 2026, Richard DeCoste, 9495 6257 Quebec, Inc. Councillor Madden.
Excuse me, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Martin, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report BP 2026-13, excuse me, and the Council adopt zoning bylaw number Z04 2026, and the bylaw number Z04 2026 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted in open council this 13th day of May 2026.
Okay, thank you. Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, yeah, the location for that one, 405 Lagan Glenelg Road. There's the map right there. So this was presented during the 23rd of March public meeting of planning. This is a typical surplus dwelling rezoning. So as you can see there, the purpose of the application was to rezone the retained portion, so the bigger portion, 105.3 acres, to prohibit residential development and to acknowledge the lot frontage deficiency from 190 to 200, and to also rezone the severed portion, so 1.7 acres, to prohibit agricultural use and to acknowledge lot frontage from the required 45 to 10 meters. So as you can see, this is the, unlike typical flag lots again. Again, this is what is recommended by Planning Act official plan. So this is really just the rezoning of those two portions. Since the public meeting, we have received no additional comments and concerns from any members of the public or any agencies. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Thank you. Moving on to BP 2026-14, zoning bylaw amendment Z05 2026. Andre Chenier, Councilor Martin.
Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report BP 2026-14, zoning bylaw amendment number Z05 2026, and that the Council adopt zoning bylaw number Z05 2026, and that bylaw number Z05 2026 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted in open council this 13th day of April 2026.
Thank you. Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The owner for this one, Monsieur André Chenier, 21104 McCormick Road in Alexandria. The purpose for this application was to change the zoning from AG Special Exception 118. So it was already zoned to prohibit agricultural uses because this was also a surplus dwelling done back in the day. So we're rezoning it to Special Exception 281. This time to permit a secondary dwelling. So as I explained, we're now rezoning the entire properties. It's just easier planning-wise. So in this case, the secondary dwelling will be constructed just south of the existing dwelling. Since the public meeting, we have received no additional comments from any agencies or members of the public. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. Okay, moving on to BP 2026-15, zoning bylaw amendment Z06 2026, Michael Gregoire. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report BP 2026-15, zoning bylaw amendment number Z06 2026, and the Council adopt zoning bylaw number Z06 2026, and that bylaw number 06 2026 be read first, second, and third time and enacted in open council this 13th day of April 2026.
Thank you. Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So yeah, this one, the owner, Michael Gregoire. There's no civic address, but as you can see, it's on the corner of Kenyon Concession 1 and Kenyon Concession 1, so it's where it turns in north-south there. So this one is, the purpose was to rezone from rural. So we're actually only rezoning the greener portion or light green portion on this here, approximately 10 acres out of the 27 acres for the entire property. So just the rural is being rezoned, not the wetlands. So the owner will not be able to put the house in the wetlands. It's just where the rural is. But in this case, the purpose for this was to permit a secondary dwelling as well. In this case, we are also adding just duplex and semi-detached in the definition, just to make sure the owner can do what he's proposing. So it's basically two dwellings, it's a white building, a dwelling on each side, and they will share the garage in the middle. So that's the purpose for now, but the rezoning is just really to permit the two dwellings. Since the public meeting, I have received 2 phone calls regarding this file, really just questions about what it was really and what was going on. They did not get the chance to look at it before the public meeting. Both were answered. One's for where the entrance will go. At this point, the entrance is proposed to be on the north-south portion. And the other one was really just to know what the zoning was for, and I explained that it was for the two dwellings. Both landowners were okay with the answers, and they have no other comments. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Go ahead, Council Madden.
Were the people that were asking, were they're close neighbors?
One of them was one of the neighbors that lives right beside there. They were curious. They thought that this was actually a severance, like the little lot there. So I explained that even though we're doing this, the owners would still be able to sever off that lot in the future. Now it's not the goal, but yeah, one of them was there. The other one was someone that I believe was watching the meeting online and just had other questions regarding, like, what is this the normal process? And because of the new laws, the Build for More homes, they did not think that we had to do a zoning bylaw amendment for secondary homes, but it's because we're not on full services that we have to do it. So
Yep.
yeah, they just had those questions.
They've been in there doing some good clearing. I was by there middle of last week, and
Yeah, they're good. They're asking all the questions.
Good.
They did call to see if they needed a permit for clear cutting. I explained to them that if they stay under 2.5 acres, they do not need a permit. So they don't need to clear more than that to put the building and the septic system. So they'll
Yep.
stay under that, just so they're okay with the clear
Yep.
cutting.
Good, thank you.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So they're gonna be building back where the forest is then?
Yes,
Ah.
like,
No, not right here.
well, the beginning of the forest.
You can see there's trees there.
That's the one.
Yeah, no, this.
Pretty much at the tip of my
I
arrow.
thought they'd be building there.
No,
One more.
No? Oh,
You can put- Yeah,
oh,
right.
okay.
Got all that room back there.
Oh, okay.
Where the arrow is where they've been clearing, and where Jacob said the entrance is
Ah.
supposed to go off that north, so.
Oh, okay.
yeah, Mr. Deputy Mayor, the where you were pointing,
Yeah.
they would still be allowed to sever that lot off, so that's why they're really not touching it. It's for maybe
see.
future
Okay.
lot creation.
Right. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Councilor Manley, do you have your hand up? You're good? Okay. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Thank you, Jacob. Public Works Department, PW 2026-09, 2026 gravel road resurfacing procurement, results PW 1011. Councilor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move on myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report PW 2026-09, 2026 gravel road resurfacing procurement results PW -1011, and that council authorizes the award of contract number 1011 to the 2026 gravel road resurfacing to A.L. Blair Construction for $376,220 plus HST, and that the mayor and CAO clerk be authorized to enter into an agreement with A.L. Blair Construction for supply and placement of spring gravel.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is our yearly gravel tender. We got favorable results, $18,000 under budget, give and take some change. And which is good because we're over in other areas, which we'll get to in a moment. We're doing the top half of the township this year. Manager Transportation's doing a good job of making sure it's placed on need. But essentially, most of the roads up there are all going to get a good skim of gravel.
Sorry. Stop texting me, Jacob. Okay, any questions on the gravel procurement? Seems pretty straightforward. All those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. Liquid dust suppressant procurement results, PW 1017. Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Numbers gotta match. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report PW 2026-10, 2026 liquid dust suppressant. Procurement results PW 1017, and the council authorizes the award of contract number 1011 for the 2026 liquid dust suppressant to Lee Dust Control for $274,177. Wow, $274,177.50 plus HST, and that the mayor and the CAO clerk be authorized to enter into agreement with Lee Dust Control for supply and placement of liquid dust suppressant.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this was a disappointing tender result. So we normally have two companies that bid. Pollard was not able to bid. They noted that the tender was there, but they were having they were not able to bid this time. So this is normally a multi-year contract. It's done throughout the 6 municipalities get together and figure out a procurement for it, which normally gets us some good pricing. The pricing is very bad. So it is really, we don't think that there aren't any other suppliers who are going to be able to do it within specification, within the time limit that we need. But we will expand our specification to accept other products. This is a calcium chloride product. There are some others that can be used, but it would take a little bit of time for the 6 of us to get together and actually review, because a lot of us haven't ever used a different type of product for dust suppression. So we can look at that. Hopefully as well, the suppliers get back online. I don't think that generally all the public works directors get together and figure out whether we want to bring it to extend the contract, because it's bid as a multi-year, but it's only for 1 year, and then we can do extensions. Obviously the pricing is bad, so we're going to go back out next year. And at that point, we'll see if we can expand it to other products if the consensus is throughout the townships. We could always go it alone as well if we find that we want to use it and other townships do not. But we all work pretty well, so I'm pretty sure if there's an issue, we're generally all on the same page. So essentially, we do recommend awarding it for this year due to some other capital items coming under. It is within budget, or our budget will balance out anyway. And it is a plus or minus 20% on quantity, so we will be very, very careful as we apply it this year and aim to apply less than we normally do.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
So just all 6 municipalities got the same one submission and bad deal. Wow. That's unfortunate.
Councillor Massey.
I see it's like 30,000 over, 40,000 over. I think that's not such a bad thing, because with the price of diesel, I just got a bill today for last week's transport company, and they charged me 60% fuel surcharge on top of the regular. So it could be lots worse than this if we try to go to somebody else in a month or something, because it's completely crazy out there as the price of fuel went up there. But yeah,
for sure.
as it that bad, but it likely pretty sure would be more than that, I think.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on to PW 2026-11, tandem plow truck and equipment procurement results, PW 1009. Councillor Cadell. Councillor Cadell doesn't have it again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receives report PW 2026-11, 2026 tandem plow truck and equipment procurement results PW 1009, and that council authorizes the award of contract number 1012 for the 2026 tandem plow to Global Cam for $200,918 plus HST, and that council authorize the award of contract number 1013 for the 2026 tandem plow equipment to Gincor for $192,940 plus HST, and that the mayor and CAO clerk be authorized to enter into an agreement with Global Cam for supply a tandem plow, and that the mayor and CAO clerk be authorized to enter into an agreement with Gincor for supply and installation of plow equipment on a tandem cab and chassis.
Okay, thank you. Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this was, it's great that we've got this out this early in the year. We actually were able to go around and through our experience, check not only that the companies can supply this equipment at the price that we want, that they can supply the equipment in the timeline that we want. So the Freightliner cabin chassis is actually in stock in Cornwall, which is great. It's the wrong color, but it'll be painted the right color. And Gincor was the only company who was able to provide the plow and salter for to meet our specifications. None of the other companies submitted a compliant bid. This was done through Canoe Group, so we reached out to each of the companies who've been vetted through Canoe Group, essentially for their technical specifications, and got their Canoe Group pricing that's done through their joint tender. So we do recommend awarding the tender. It does bring us in under budget. One of the things I will mention is we did evaluate, and we still have the option of buying a 7-year warranty just for the cabin chassis. That was an extra $17,000, comparable with all of the other companies, but I actually do not recommend it. When going through it with the manager of transportation, it looks like a lot of the coverages overlapped with a lot of the coverages for the independent components, and it's $17,000, which is a lot of money. That covers a lot of repairs, and it doesn't cover any of the serviceable items, which is our main issue. And with the amount of attention that our guys give our trucks, we don't think it's worth spending. We don't think that we will spend $17,000 on repairs during this period, but we did agree that we will very closely track how much we do spend on repairs over the 7 years, so then as we go forward, we can get a good idea if maybe these warranties are worth it. Also good to mention that, a good portion of the expenditure is on the plow and attachment equipment, and that is not covered by the warranty at all. So we did investigate that. This is the first of the 3 2008 vehicles that are about 18 years old. We want to replace one per year over the next 3 years, and that will be essentially that's it for replacing our fleet for, I think there's a good 5-6 year gap until we need to do anything again. And the final unit that we replace will be about 20 years old when we do it. So we've still got the unit that we replaced last year. We're keeping it as a spare with a DNR on it, so do not repair or do not resuscitate. And so it sits there. At the moment, we've been using it as a spare, so if one goes down, we just use that truck instead. But because that's getting more wear, that'll be the next one out, and then we'll keep the truck that we replace as a DNR in the yard and jump on it if we run into issues.
Okay, thank you. Question, just, I know we've been served well by Gin Corp, but I worry that we're going to be like the counties were 6 or 7 years ago, where the specifications were so tight that basically only one company could bid on it. So I think it's worthwhile reviewing those specifications to see if there's something else that we can do, because if you get caught with just the one company thing, and again, we're getting good pricing, but, we get good pricing until we don't. So just want to make sure that we take a look at that. So, further questions or comments? Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a general question, Tim. This is a Freightliner. I'm curious what we've got sort of as brand names within the stable, and like if there's anything that is interchangeable. So these guys that are coming off that become the DNRs, is there anything that is, and obviously 20 years, things have changed a hell of a lot in terms of spec. But also in terms of our mechanics, I guess. Obviously, heavy diesel is heavy diesel, but there's some subtleties to some of them. So I'm just curious how many different brands we've got in the garages.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, although I could look it up, but we have mostly Western Star and International. We do have, I think it's 2 Freightliner already. We do prefer the Western Star. That has been, our essentially our favored model. However, for the price difference, it didn't seem like it's worth, trying to stick with the Western Star just for brand loyalty. But we've found that they are, fairly interchangeable, and, for the spare sitting in the yard, the thing, it's still serviceable and it will still run. It's just that if we put too hard of a use on it, it's going to fail us. So we're trying to keep it there as a spare. A lot of the parts are interchangeable, not necessarily with the new trucks, but we've got the 3 2008s. So the 3 2008s have the spare sitting in the yard, and the good thing about those 3 is they're all very similar, so those pieces are all very interchangeable between them. But they are getting to the stage where it's a lot of rust and a lot of issues. So, the part that goes on one tends to be the part that goes on the other one as well. Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
One thing, next year, we're going to do this for 3 years in a row. Can you just bring back these numbers? Remember to bring back these numbers just so we can see what's happening with them year over year. Because I'm curious if there's any decrease coming. I doubt it. But some things have started to adjust a little bit because obviously COVID really, really screwed us on a lot of pricing. Sorry, there was going to be something else in there. Residual value. Are we, these ones that, as we get an extra that's as a standby, are we selling any of these off? Like, are we getting any kind of dollars of these, or are they sort of non-salvageable?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we have had some success in the past in disposing of the old tandems, because in a different use case they can be useful. Once we've replaced these 3 units, we'll be sticking with our asset management plan, which has a replacement cycle, and the idea is to be disposing of these assets when we're getting the best bang for our buck. So we're replacing at the right time and also getting a good residual value out of them, which is, we find, around the 15 to 18 year mark. So yeah, we're not expecting a lot from these. Probably, I would say, under 10 grand from what we've got, just historically. But it does depend on supply and demand, and they look for them for far and wide. So we had one of them, someone came from Nova Scotia to purchase it. So, and we got, I think, 16 grand. That was back in 2023, I believe. They came and purchased that. So, yeah, we do list them on the government bid sites and get a competitive bid for them. At the 18 plus years old, that residual value just really isn't there anymore. It's 22's held together on a hope and a prayer. So.
Okay, thank you. Further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on to unfinished business, EOWC opposition of Alto High-Speed Rail Project in its current form. So I have a motion moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams. Whereas the Alto High-Speed Rail Project is a nation-building initiative between Quebec City and Toronto with an estimated cost of $60 to $90 billion, and whereas the project proposes only one stop in the 50,000 square kilometer EOWC region, potentially impacting rural communities, agricultural lands, trails, and environmentally sensitive areas with unclear long-term benefits. And whereas municipal consultation has been insufficient, leaving potential impacts on land use, infrastructure, emergency response, and existing via rail service unclear. And whereas the EOWC represents 103 communities advocating for the protection of Eastern Ontario's rural agricultural and cultural landscapes. And therefore, be it resolved that the Township of North Glengarry supports the EOWC in opposing the Alto project in its current form due to insufficient consultation, unclear rural impacts, environmental concerns, and misalignment with regional planning priorities, and urges Alto and the federal government to coordinate with Via Rail to maintain and enhance passenger rail service, provide a clear service integration plan, and work with municipalities to ensure rural residents remain connected. And be it further resolved that the EOWC will continue to encourage municipalities, partners, businesses, and residents to provide feedback, seek detailed project information, advocate for alternate routes along existing corridors via rail or Highway 401, and collaborate to prevent rural isolation from passenger rail service. And be it further resolved that the copies of this resolution be sent to the Prime Minister, Minister of Transportation, Alto CAO, EOWC MPs and MPPs, the Premier of Ontario, FCM, AMO, Roma, OFA, the Eastern Ontario Mayor's Caucus, all EOWC municipalities, and Eastern Ontario First Nations partners. Questions or comments? Yeah, I think it's a lot better. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for this, Mr. Mayor. We talked last week, I think, and through concern of some of our residents in the north part of North Glengarry, I would just maybe, not all of them watched the meeting, so if we could put it on our Facebook page, like if we can post it somehow, that it's public notice, that everybody sees it and knows our position, it would alleviate a lot of concern for our residents, I think.
Okay, sounds good. Got that, Misha? Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Moving on to notice of motion, next regular meeting of council, Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. We do not have a closed session this evening. I'm not sure where that got mixed up, but we have nothing for a closed session.
I have the minutes here, but if we don't.
No, we'll have to come back and,
Consent agenda.
consent agenda, Councillor Madden?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Council Martin, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receives the items from the consent agenda for information purposes only.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. And moving to question period. Yes, sure.
Thank you for allowing me to address this issue on the cell tower, because I have a couple of questions and comments. The first question and comment is regarding their justification report that they submitted to the township. And within that justification report, they talk about, like Council Madden was talking about, the coverage. So they're showing a map on the point number 2 that kind of tells us they are covering about the radius of 3.5 kilometers. And then when we go to the next page, they refer to 3 existing towers, and the missing one in the picture, really, intentionally, it sounds like, because the one, all these other existing towers are already within this 3.5 kilometer radius. Well, that's what they're saying here.
And that's why I say I think they made a mistake. I think it's from another report.
Right, but even in the text, the text doesn't go, but if I take the larger numbers from the map, it's still, and if you compare it with the first map, their own map basically covers the existing towers. So it doesn't make any sense to have them actually. Another question I had is the setbacks from residential dwellings. They claim the closest residence is about 100 meters. But if I take a Google map and measure the closest residence, it measures 120 meters. So again, I'm not sure what is correct or how they get this 180 meters. I was wondering too how many notices to residents were sent out.
Do you know that, Jacob?
Because if according to your claim that the notice has to, like the radius is determined by the ratio of 3 times of the height of the tower, so there would be like 100 meters. And if they say that the closest residence is 180 meters, they didn't have to send out any notices, right?
So that's another question that we can
You
ask,
know,
who the notices got sent
Yeah.
to.
So I think that's basically, I just want to appreciate your decision as to defer that vote for tonight. I think it was a very good call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Misha, do you have any questions? No? Okay. I'll read it for Councillor Cadell. Moved by Councillor Cadell, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry adopts bylaw 25-2026, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, and that bylaw 25-2026 be read a first, second, third time, and enacted in open council this 13th day of April, 2026. All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. Councillor Madden.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Martin. There being no further business discussed, the meeting was adjourned at 6:53 p.m.
Must have been just too tired to stand up and say it, or? Sorry, what time did you say?
6:53.
6:53. All those in favor? Motion is carried. So thank you to council and staff and the public for joining us this evening. And hopefully spring is hitting us very soon. It's had a couple nice days, but lots of rain, but it's coming. So have a great rest of your week. Thank you.